Namaste. What is the One? What is the One? Where is the One? How the One is in our body. Where is it? So, let's have a contemplation from a point of view of rest. If you can imagine for a moment that in a state of cosmic rest, all potentiality, all creation is permanently at rest. And it's at rest because it's expanding. So there is a center in all our anatomy, in all biological and non-biology, in all times and in all spaces where there is a period of rest. Like when you're sleeping. All your potential are there, but they are at rest. And that sleep, we can say, is tamasic. And in here, we need to clarify a little bit about the gunas. Just a little parenthesis. Because in your mind, you have the three gunas, sattva, raja, tama. And the mind tends to prefer sattva. Because you have heard it's the pure, the best, where you are more effective, more lucid, have more clarity, and so on and so forth. So review within you what are the evaluations that you have about the three gunas. Because when we speak about the three gunas, we are involving all three gunas as a formation of creation. And they are not only forming creation, but organizing cosmos, right? Cosmos means order. So creation and order is cosmic, is organized. Without preferences in your mind about the gunas, you soon start to understand the fractal nature of creation, where everything contains everything. There are the bad tamas, and is also the good tamas. So with no value, tamas is necessary. And tamas is the crib, the egg, the womb, the dark matter, where everything is potentially can be initiated or activated from that place. In our body, tamas, at the level of the subtle, is in the Shushmana. Active, Raja, is in the Pingala. Sattvic is in the feminine, in the Ida. When you understand the trinity of creation, you're not going to aim towards only Shushmana, because it gives you that emptiness, that break from the experience. You cannot attain or remain in there. It's not the law of the universe. But cosmically speaking, it's in the background. It's part of the organizer. It's the center or the bindu of the wheel, tamas. Nothing moves around it. It's in perfect state of equanimity, of sleep. But it has all the data in it. So put together that in a state of sattvic tama, you expand, you recharge. And prana at that level is sustaining and recharging and expanding everything as is necessary to sleep. Only in sleep you recharge. It's like a new life. You assimilate deeply. It goes into the void, into the emptiness. You don't remember who you are, where you are. Maybe the dreams gives you a glimpse of the rajas, the impulse of always wanting to create in a very subtle way. Like when you are, at the end of the day, you're collecting all the impressions. You saw a movie who have music, violins, and you were cleaning, and you were walking, and you were looking at your shoes or wanting to buy shoes. And then in the dream state, you put all this together and form an iconography, a potentiality of what that could be. And you can be link that to your daily life and say, oh, I have this insight or that dream. But most of the time, it's just that subtle raja that is creating within you. So in a larger scale, rajas, sattva, and tamas sustain the order of creation, give the subtle potential and dynamics of the experiences when you are in form. There are places in your body and cosmically where the creation is more potent. It's a sacral chakra. So the universe, well, in the same way, it has a womb, an active part, fractally embedded in everything, in every cell. That desire to create, to mate. So it's a trinity. That's why it's important to understand Trinity at this point. When you understand the trinity of the form, food, sex, sleep, you understand equally sattva, raja, tamas. You understand equally in an elevated way wisdom, love, life. So when we breathe, alternate nostril breathing, we're just balancing the Trinity in all levels. And each time we practice, then we touch different aspects in the structure of being, in the anatomy, in the mind, in the emotions, in your memories, in your relations, in your cluster souls, in your truth. In a way, you target the vacuum, the emptiness. With all its aspects. And in that meditation, you land in certain places where prana is more active, where prana is working on something. Something needs to be animated. Now, some of you have say, oh, in the Sushmana, when it's awake, you have criminal tendency. What is that about? In the Trinity, also you have conservation, creation, and destruction. So it's not that for everybody. But if the Trinity, in the process of enlightenment, you have depurated all the extremes, so you are not going to act on extreme awakening of either Ida Pingala, action, destruction, or rest. You have equanimity. That sensation of destruction, inevitable, is there and have to be there to destroy what is not true, to give you the courage to be more yourself, to cross limits, to expand. It's natural. But that doesn't mean that you're a criminal, unless you don't have the education, the background. But spontaneously, you can have the tendency of compassion, destruction, nourishment, as part of the Trinity. In equal way, samadhi is a deep state of tamas in the body. You don't feel the body, the body is asleep, but you are awake. But you are in repose as well. So it's just to clean a little bit the concepts that you have about enlightenment and the qualities of creation and the preferences towards one and rejecting something that is unpleasant or that is seen as dark. Just see that is the totality. Black, white, light, dark, all is contained and dancing in the Trinity. So Trinity is not only the third dimension. Trinity gives a rise to the third dimension. But the Trinity of creation is embedded in the 1, in the 2, in the 3, in the 4, in the 6, in the 12, all the structure of being. Fractally is in everything. So zoom out your mind and see that the one that moves that is energy, is part of the Trinity. Matter, energy, vibration is part of the Trinity. Prana, will, energy is in the center of the structure of being. It's in the soul of the structure of being. That's what it makes it move. All descend towards the form, ascend towards vibration, this energy, this prana. So separating and catalogizing and valuing the Trinity, it only brings confusion and not understanding of the true yoga or the true healing. That's why it's important when you enter into your practice of healing others, not to have any expectations of where that person should be. You are leading that person not towards enlightenment, but towards to be more themselves, and to have the courage and to uplift them, for them to have the courage to cross the limitations that the mind have imposed in them. God is the neutral counselor, the neutral healer, the neutral teacher. You're just accompanying and giving the awareness that is necessary when the person is showing certain interest in certain theme. You supply them. When the question is there, then the answer is being enriched by the wisdom of the teacher, but is had born in a tamasic or rajasic way or sattvic way in the individual. So when you come all agitated, Raja, then a sparkle of sattva comes, or a sparkle of tamas calm down, or drop it. Depends of the time of what you need. Correct? And that's the art of communication when you're leading somebody. Once you have healed the prana of your Trinity, the energy, your will is in balance. Remember, energy, will, soul, connections is prana, is all the same. is in the same soul bodies, right? So on earth bodies, you have matter, is tamas, is dark, but it moves. It gives you experiment. It's unconscious. It's asleep. You are unaware. So that is one kind of tamas. Rajas in the soul, energy. All the soul clusters on here move, all the potentials, all the probability, timeline, space, and so on and so forth. Creation. Then you have vibration. Sattva, purity. But all three are constantly breathing in and breathing out themselves, one without the other one. There is no food, there is no rest, there is no creation. When you have this trinity in absolute time of equanimity, it multiplies, and in that multiplication feed others 10 plates of energy just by your presence. You don't need to do anything. The art is reject nothing, prefer nothing, remain detached, remain aware. That as a background of your activities, of your experimenting on earth. It's very simple. Namaste.